So what's good, TMG fam? It's your boy L and I'm back with another reaction. How y'all feel? Welcome back to the channel. Salute. Now the next video we getting into, man, title is Uncle Asks Everyone Not to Open Old Garage. What they found inside was shocking. All right, what's the craziest thing you found inside your house? Put it in the comment section, all right? Let's check this one out.
Our homes are the one place on earth where we believe we have complete control. But if you're in an apartment, or if you're not the first owner of the house, it's natural to find unexpected things in your new home. Things that might sometimes make you bewildered just because of how outlandish they are. From a mysterious safe to million-dollar finds, here are 20 crazy things found in people's homes. Number 20. Mysterious safe. A woman purchases a new apartment, notices an oddly boarded up nook, discovers a safe, and finds a lot of money that turns her into an overnight millionaire. This sounds like the plot of a movie, right? But I guess
Why can't that happen to me?
when you get lucky, you might experience the same thing in real life. That's exactly what happened to a woman in the United States upon moving into a new apartment. You see, when you're in the process of acquiring a new place, you might believe you've got it all figured out after visiting and viewing the apartment one or two times. But people who have moved into a new home once or twice would know that sometimes you'll discover new things in weeks, months, sometimes even years after you've moved in. However, this woman we're talking about immediately noticed something was strange with her fireplace the first time she saw it. It wasn't your typical fireplace. There was something unusual about it. So she decided to enlist the help of her dad to uncover its mysteries. After removing the wooden panels covering the fireplace, they discovered a hidden safe. Strangely enough, it seems that someone had tried to access it before, as there were 3 small holes in the front. After discovering the safe, the two needed to know how to open it without damaging its contents. To ensure that they would get the job done properly, the woman did some research about the house first, and interestingly, she found out that the house had been built in the 1950s, and the previous owners were unaware of what was hidden behind those wooden panels. After some online sleuthing, the woman managed to identify the safe's exact model through Google Images. She then called in an expert who confirmed that someone had successfully cracked it open from the outside. But despite that, it seemed like the original contents of the safe were still intact. Inside the safe were several interesting items: a World War II 50th anniversary coin, precious gems, and playing cards. Perhaps the most
Nah, they took the good stuff. Nah, the good stuff is gone. Not to say that World War II coin isn't valuable. It's probably extremely valuable, and they probably can get something from it. But yeah, them 3 holes let you know they already got the good stuff out.
astonishing find was a newspaper from 1850, astonishingly well preserved. They might not have gotten a lot of money from it, but hey, the fact that she discovered something so cool is already enough, isn't it? Before we go on, like this video, smash the subscribe button, and click the notification bell right now. Number 19. $7,000 in cash. If you found $7,000 in an abandoned house, would you try to find its rightful owner and return the money to them? Or do you think you would just keep the money to yourself? Well, I'd try to find its owner by checking for any clues about their identity in the house. But if I didn't find them within a month, I'd probably keep the money to myself. That's exactly what a photographer named Dave did. Dave stumbled upon an abandoned house in Ontario, Canada, and discovered a yellow hardware bag tucked behind a mattress.
So he was trespassing, basically. Stumbled upon an abandoned house. You went inside the abandoned house. You trespassed, bro. You ain't just, come on now.
Inside was cold, hard cash, a solid $7,000. Learning that the house had fallen into disrepair due to the previous owner's illness and passing, Dave, along with a friend, made it the mission to locate a female relative of the house's last owner. They successfully found her and returned the money. Of course, the woman's demeanor transformed as she processed the unexpected act of kindness. Most people would surely keep the money to themselves after all.
They would.
So, after a brief discussion with her husband, they agreed to meet with Dave and his friend at the house. Dave and his friend handed over every penny they had found. Would you have done the same thing? Put in time and effort to sleuth around the internet in search of the money's owner? Or would you have just taken it for yourself? Tell me in the comments down below.
I would have just left it where it was. You know what I mean? Not taking the time to find the owner, not doing all that type of stuff. I'd have just left it where it was. I don't want that karma on me. You know what I mean? I don't want it.
And I promise, this is a no judgment zone. I just want to hear your thoughts. Number 18. The secret room behind the mirror. What would you do if you moved into a new apartment and discovered that there was a hidden room behind one of the apartment's mirrors? It sounds like the plot of a horror movie, right? Just imagine living peacefully, thinking you're safe in your new apartment, only to discover that someone has been spying on you all along. Well, luckily, that nightmare of an experience didn't happen to this woman. You see, the Big Apple is pretty busy as it is, and it's a place where you can experience rather bizarre things even while just walking down the street. However, 26-year-old Samantha Hartso experienced something far more bizarre upon moving to New York. Samantha began sharing a 3-bedroom apartment on Roosevelt Island with 2 roommates. Upon returning home one day from a hiking trip, she noticed an unusual chill in her bathroom. She couldn't pinpoint the source of the cold draft until she examined the mirror over her sink. To her astonishment, it wasn't attached to the wall as expected. A closer look revealed a hole in the wall behind it, leading to another room. In a move that would make even a horror movie character proud, Samantha decided to explore the mysterious space on March 1st, despite her roommate John's attempts to dissuade her. Armed with nothing but a face mask, a flashlight strapped to her head, and a hammer, she went into the hidden chamber. And there, she discovered an entire 3-bedroom apartment with open windows, explaining the unexpected cold draft. Signs of life were present in the form of trash bags and an empty water bottle, keeping Samantha on edge. However, the apartment appeared abandoned and gutted, possibly in the midst of renovation. What would you have done if you discovered something like this?
I ain't going in the hole. I'm sorry, bro. Some of y'all are just, I don't even know the word to describe it. And you know what I mean? It's not Daredevil. It's not Risk Takers. It's stupid is what it is. It's stupid. Fam. Oh, and then she went in there unarmed and stuff like that. Yeah, I'll be asking for it sometimes, man.
Number 17. Hidden Beehive. I don't know about you, but I've seen a massive influx of #ProtectTheBees on the gram and Twitter lately. With that being said, it appears that the homeowner's situation might be at odds with the interests of those who aim to preserve and protect bee populations. These insects are nice and cool when they're outside your home, but what if they decide to be another uninvited tenant in your apartment? The catch? You need money to get them out. If that sounds confusing, just listen up. Sarah Weaver and her husband moved to Pennsylvania, thinking they could live a peaceful life in a farmhouse. It was true until they discovered thousands of unwanted tenants in their walls. Bees. However, Sarah shared that the seller did mention that bees were living in the walls of the farmhouse, but unfortunately, the seller didn't explicitly explain just how severe the infestation was. Sarah recalls, on the seller's disclosure, it said, "bees in wall," and that was it. Sarah claimed that the joy of finally finding a house near a school district and finding it at a price they could afford made her dismiss the simple remark. After residing in the home for a few months, they needed to clean up the walls, and there they discovered an entire colony of bees. Of course, you can't just kill them. Honeybees play a vital role in agriculture, far beyond just honey and beeswax production. The FDA estimates their agricultural benefit to be 10 to 20 times the value of honey and beeswax combined. Unfortunately, this unexpected find would cost them a staggering $12,000. After hitting up a local beekeeper who estimated that there were about 450,000 bees within the farmhouse's walls, the couple decided to shell out the money. Meanwhile, the bees were moved to a honey farm where they could live without disturbing anyone. Number 16. Oh.
What are y'all doing in that situation? Because I know I'm losing my mind on someone. I'm telling you, bro. Including myself for not really paying attention to the disclosures like I should and just reading it. You know what I mean? But I'm not only going to get on myself, I'm getting on somebody else too, fam.
A home inside a home. It seems like I keep sharing discoveries that resemble plots from thriller movies. A Reddit user shared this next discovery. While he didn't disclose the precise location of his home, he did share how his experience went. You see, he discovered an eerie house. Yes, an entire house in his very own attic. The chilling home was complete with a bathroom and installed wallpaper, but apparently it had a pretty logical explanation. Initially, his home was a 2-story building. with the lower floor serving as a shop and the upper level as living quarters for the shopkeepers. Later, it was transformed into a church, during which the builders made a unique decision. They left the second story untouched and built around it, concealing it with ceiling insulation bats. A substantial extension was also added to the ground floor. It was this hidden second story that the present owner discovered. Perhaps he was comforted by the history after learning it, but can you imagine his horror upon discovering the attic for the first time? Seriously, I probably wouldn't even try to research the history of the house and just straight up find a new place to move into. Number 15. The Disappointment Room. Several years ago, Lori and Jeffrey DeMoss were working on the third floor of their West Warwick home, planning to transform a small attic into a music studio. It was their personal project, but it marked the start of their mission to help children with special needs. You're probably trying to connect the two stories, but hear me out. Lori, a recent Rhode Island resident, was tidying her attic when she uncovered a hidden secret contained beneath a grimy cloth. The room below had a metal floor, a door reminiscent of a schoolhouse entrance, and was secured only by a doorknob and deadbolt on the exterior. However, this wasn't just an ordinary hidden chamber that Lori had stumbled upon. After intensive research at the local library, she discovered the horrifying history of the hidden chamber she'd just found. It was a disappointment room. Elite members of society used these rooms to hide their disabled children in the late 19th and early 20th centuries.
I remember hearing about, bro, there's some sick people in the past, fam. Not just in the past, in the present as well. But to do that to children just because you don't think they're the same as the other kids, man, that's messed up beyond, bro. Like that. And you know, I was talking about karma earlier. Ain't no good coming from that, what they did.
The DeMoss home was once owned by Judge Job Smith Carpenter and his wife Frances Ellen Carpenter. Lori's research led her to believe that the couple's daughter, Ruth, was likely the room's occupant. In that era, it was considered shameful to have a disabled family member, especially for affluent and well-known individuals. And so, Lori decided to raise awareness about the house's history and raise funds for children with special needs. Today, the room also serves as a memorial to Ruth, resembling a young girl's room. Lori's efforts to preserve and connect this history with the present led her to establish a non-profit organization, Ruthie's Room. The organization fundraises to provide sensory comfort items to athletes in the Special Olympics Summer Games and more recently to West Warwick Public Schools.
And y'all wonder why these places be haunted. It's because sick people did heinous things to people and their souls are not at rest at all. This is why places be haunted, right here.
What do you know? A dark history turned into a catalyst for a heartwarming mission. Faith in humanity restored. Number 14. World War II love letters. Now let's pause with the spooky and creepy discoveries and let's look at something a bit more heartwarming, shall we? A woman discovered a bundle of forgotten wartime love letters in the wardrobe of an empty house. After finding the letters, she was determined to find the relatives of the two sweet individuals who exchanged messages amidst the chaos of war. These letters, dating from 1942 to 1946, tell a touching story of love and longing between a young woman in Blackpool and an RAF commander stationed in Plymouth during World War II. The correspondents were Miss Ronnie Stone, who resided on Leighton Road, Blackpool, and Air Commodore Frankie Clark, who valiantly served in the Royal Air Force during the tumultuous war years. But despite being surrounded by fighting, the man never failed to fill the pages of his letters with romantic passages, all for his beloved wife. One envelope even contained pressed flowers, a heartfelt gift exchanged between them. From their very first meeting to how they missed each other upon learning they wouldn't be able to meet on Christmas and New Year's Day, the letters wonderfully narrated the couple's lives. I bet reading the letters felt like peeking into something you shouldn't see. Unfortunately, despite the woman's efforts, she's been unable to locate a marriage certificate, and it appears that they may not have had children. Number 13. An Unwanted Tenant. A colonial house in Fairfax, Virginia has captured the attention of the internet, not only because of its relatively low price, but also because of its peculiar feature. You see, this beautiful 3,548 square foot, 5-bedroom, 4-bathroom house is on sale for $800,000. But there's a twist. It needs significant repairs and comes with an unexpected basement dweller or two. These mysterious residents won't be required to pay rent, and you can't evict them. Yep, sounds stupid, right? But
What?
someone posted it on a website called Zillow, and on the site, the post highlights the house's repair needs, including rotting windows, a leaky toilet, flooring and carpet replacements, and malfunctioning appliances. The most astonishing part is that the listing states that, and I quote, "cash offers only, no access to see lower level, and home sold as is, only with the acknowledgement that home will convey with a person living in lower level with no lease in place." This unusual offer has left many people puzzled, prompting them to share their opinions on social media. Some took a humorous approach, while others raised serious concerns about living with an unknown person in their home.
Right, that's what I was just about to say, man. That's like buying a house and Leatherface is living in your basement. You know what I mean? You don't know when he's gonna come up and kill you. You don't know what he's gonna do. You can't go to sleep. You gotta keep one eye open. No. How do you even put something on the market like that? Zillow, how does Zillow even allow you to put something on the market like that? That's crazy, bro. You hear weird stories like that on Craigslist and sites like that, but Zillow, I never heard nothing like that.
Without any recourse. Yep, that's a quick no for me.
Me
Number
too.
12. 7-cell jail. As a young boy, I dreamt of being a police officer once. But, well, the fact that you're hearing my voice today just means I never realized that dream. But I guess if you have an apartment like this, you can easily just make believe. If you wanted to be a police officer just like me, but ended up with another career, then maybe you can pretend you actually became a cop by investing in this bizarre property. From the outside, this apartment located in Vermont looks normal, but it has a secret. Nestled in Guildhall, a quaint Vermont town, this 2,190 square foot house has been listed on Realtor, an online real estate marketplace, for 2 months with an asking price of $149,000. Featuring 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, wood floors, high ceilings, and a charming backyard. This property also boasts an adjacent 7-cell jail. Yes, you read that correctly. An actual prison reminiscent of those used a few decades ago. Originally the residence of the town jailer, the property has changed hands over the years, but the jail remains unaltered. So quite an interesting property, right? While there are no spooky tales of
Anybody who signs up to buy that place should go on a list and they need to be watched. They need to be watched. You know what I mean? Not just the kinky people, the ones who want it just for kinky reasons. No, the ones as well that's going to try to buy that and what they going to do with it. No.
hauntings or strange noises associated with a 28-foot by 40-foot wing that once housed inmates. The old jail doesn't exactly exude a warm welcome. However, for those with a taste of the unconventional, living right next door might be something up your alley. Number 11. Tons and tons of garbage. I know that we all had those moments when we just couldn't do a single chore without the need to pick up our phones and scroll through our social media accounts. But no matter how much I procrastinate, I won't let my house be a pigsty. But well, I guess some people find value in garbage, just like this eccentric man. In South Korea, 75-year-old Choi built a fortress of trash. Over the past decade, he transformed his 2-story house into a nightmarish landfill,
Look how he gotta slide out to come outside.
accumulating garbage from the city streets and trash cans. Convinced that one man's garbage is another man's treasure, Choi filled his entire house with rubbish, spilling over onto balconies and the yard. The situation became so extreme that the front door was buried beneath heaps of accumulated junk. Choi, along with his 70-year-old wife and their son in his 40s, had been living in these squalid conditions for over a decade. They shared a small room because the rest of the house, including the hallways, had become impassable due to the hoarded junk.
She took her vows to heart. Like, she's the real MVP for sticking around. Because most people, including myself, I can't stay around that. No way.
Initially, neighbors had complained about the situation, but Choi's relentless accumulation of trash wore them down. According to Choi, even garbage has its uses, but I really doubt this. Now what's more, their adult son, yes, the one already in his 40s, hadn't left their tiny room in more than a year, living off his parents' pension money and refusing to do any work. I guess that's more garbage in the house.
Bro, you play hide and seek in there, they won't find you for years. Years.
Number 10. Someone's boyfriend. Now I know that title is quite confusing, but so is this story. This will probably make you have a short moment of introspection about who you are when you're in a relationship. You see, a woman in Argentina made her 29-year-old boyfriend stay inside her apartment because she was jealous. For days, the man claimed that his girlfriend, with whom he had been in a 6-month relationship, had become increasingly jealous over time. The situation escalated when, following an argument, she forcibly uninstalled WhatsApp from his phone and then smashed the device to prevent him from communicating with other women. She detained him in the room continuously for 3 days until he somehow managed to acquire her phone and send a distress message to a friend. It's uncertain how he gained access to her mobile phone, but without that action, he might still be confined in that room today. After authorities rescued him, she was lawfully charged with illegal deprivation of liberty. Yikes. Number 9.
I didn't even know what the classification for that was, if they had one. You know what I mean? Y'all fellas, y'all be thinking that's cute. Oh, she's so possessive. She love me. Nah, bro, she crazy. She crazy, fam. Run.
The secret neighbor. Now here's a pretty exciting discovery in India. A woman who disappeared from her family home in 2010 was recently discovered living just 500 meters away in the house of her secret lover. This woman, named Sajita, made her family worried sick when they found out that she was missing, only for their emotion to be replaced with anger when they finally had an idea about her whereabouts. Unbeknownst to her parents, Sajita had eloped with her lover, a man named Dalinchuvatal Raman, whom she believed her family would disapprove of due to religious differences. What makes this story even more astonishing is that Raman's family also did not know of Sajita's presence in their home. Raman had a separate room that he kept locked, and he would become aggressive if anyone asked about it, preventing anyone from entering. His parents, who worked as daily wage laborers, had no reason to suspect anything unusual. I guess love really makes people go to great lengths for their lovers. Number 8. Plant takeover.
What would y'all parents would have done in that situation? Yeah, I'd have been an angel. I'd have been out of here.
In a bizarre and astonishing story from Langfeng, Hebei province, a Chinese man returned home after being away for 7 months, only to discover that his apartment had transformed into a small botanical garden. Pictures and videos on social media depict a scene where vines have taken over the walls, using household items like hanging photos and the TV set. Now this find is definitely surprising. I try to take care of a plant, and it dies even if I make sure to follow every plant caretaking hack I see. But this guy leaves his apartment for 7 long months, and his plants thrive and take over the apartment? I guess neglect is the real secret. Number 7. A winter stash. If you live in an area where there are a lot of birds, then you might want to watch out for hidden winter emergency food stashes. Just take a look at what these homeowners discovered in their home's walls in California. A substantial secret stash of acorns. This acorn hoard was so massive that even pest control workers were baffled. The woodpecker in question was relentlessly pecking holes in the house's outer walls, filling them with acorns. However, it seemed that the persistent bird hadn't accounted for the empty space between the wall layers. As a result, the acorns didn't stay put and started accumulating.
That woodpecker's gonna be mad when he... They ain't gonna get no sleep for the remainder of their lives in that house. He gonna be just pecking at their wall, trying to find out where his stuff at. Fam, put it back.
The bottom of the walls, eventually making their way into the house. And so, to address the issue, the pest control team had to cut holes into the interior walls. What they found inside was astonishing. Mountains of acorns pouring out. They collected approximately 300 pounds of acorns, filling 8 large garbage bags. This wasn't just a minor inconvenience. The walls were severely damaged. But I guess it was still an equivalent exchange, because while the bird was safe, the little fella did lose his entire stash of winter food and would need to start the collection from scratch. Number 6. An old Bible. A family in England discovered a beautifully illustrated vintage Bible while cleaning their attic, which wasn't theirs. The large leather-bound Bible is not just a religious text, it's also a historical record. Inside its 65-year-old pages, the family found handwritten entries documenting marriages, births, and deaths. These entries provide a glimpse into the lives of the family who once cherished this Bible. In addition to the family records, the Bible contains newspaper clippings featuring local people dating back several generations. All these clues point to the likelihood that the Bible once belonged to a family with the last name Gallagher. Touched by its contents, the family decided to try and locate the owners of the Bible, or at least their relatives. Hoping to reunite this precious heirloom with its rightful owners or their descendants, the family who found it sent the Bible to the journal offices. Along with the Bible, they included a letter from a woman in County Durham, shedding light on its potential connection to the Gallagher family, who lived in the Fountain area of Derry during the 1970s. Number 5.
Stuff like that freaked me out. That freaks me out. Why? Because I feel like my luck, I'd open that up and release some type of demonic presence or something like that. No. Just get rid of it for me. As soon as I'd have seen it, I'd be like, get it out my house. Get it out. Now.
Pigeon House. Plants that went rogue might sound like a chore to clean up, but I think that's better than pigeons treating your flat like it's their very own hangout spot / litter box. In another bizarre apartment discovery, a student in the United Kingdom left his apartment window open for 5 months and returned to a rather unusual homecoming. With no one around to occupy the apartment for a while, pigeons saw an opportunity and decided to move in. They made themselves comfortable, turning the student's flat into their own cozy abode. And that's because he forgot an open window. For over 5 months, no one disturbed the bird's newfound sanctuary until one day, accommodation workers heard strange sounds emanating from the apartment. Needless to say, he needed a lot of time and put forth a lot of effort to get out those nasty poop stains. So a friendly reminder, folks, if you need to leave your home or apartment for a bit, make sure to close your windows. Number 4. The Deer Man. A Reddit user shared the most bizarre thing they found in their apartment. Now this painting might not appear expensive, but, well, in fact, there's no but, because this painting doesn't really have a high price. However, this was still a core memory for the Reddit user who shared their experience of finding this upon moving into their new apartment. I don't know about you, but I find this painting quite intriguing. Number 3. No savings account in this house. In the past, many people believed that depositing your hard-earned money in the bank was a stupid move. Well, I'm not one to judge. In fact, several people believe that to this day. There's nothing wrong in hiding your cash inside your home, except when you die and you forget to tell your relatives that you have it hidden somewhere in your house, and they decide to sell your house.
Don't worry, they'll still find it. People, they'll find it, trust me.
The new tenant will be the new owner of the cash you saved. That's exactly what happened to this Reddit user who found a staggering $14,000 stash in the unlikeliest place in the house.
Behind
Where?
the toilet?
Behind the toilet. Number 2. Rare vintage car. In 2009, after the passing of their eccentric uncle, Dr. Harold Carr, a sibling based in Newcastle inherited what seemed like an ordinary garage. Little did they know that within its dusty confines lay something extraordinary. Dr. Carr had always been somewhat of an eccentric recluse, and his family knew about his car collection, but its true extent remained a mystery. When they finally decided to open the garage doors and take a peek inside, what they found left them utterly astounded. Among the collection, a local rumor was confirmed, a Bugatti. But this wasn't just any Bugatti. It was a Bugatti Type 57S Adelante, a car with a staggering value of £6 million. Now that's roughly $8 million. You see, the Bugatti Type 51S Adelante wasn't merely a car, it was a crown jewel of automotive history, making it among the most coveted. Well, this is the type of inheritance I want to get. But unfortunately, I don't have any chance of getting something as grand as this. Life's really unfair, huh? Number 1. Renaissance painting. If you have any centerpieces hanging in your home, you might want to get those appraised and try your luck if it's a rare painting. A French woman's kitchen turned out to be an unlikely gallery for a painting worth millions of dollars. I'm talking about $20 million or more. The painting in question had been hanging in the kitchen for years, collecting grime as time passed. However, because its artist was none other than 13th century Florentine painter Cimabue, its value didn't decrease. What an unlikely find, right? Man, these discoveries keep making me paranoid about moving to a different apartment. But if you have other
Yeah, because it's been a lot more bad than good results of moving to a new place, fam. You know what I mean? Speaking of which, I just moved, so that makes me a little bit nervous. But imagine finding a painting worth $20 million. I'd probably pass out and pass away and don't get to enjoy it because I'd be that much in shock. That's a lot of money, fam, for a painting. A painting? This world is upside down, man. We live in an upside down world. Why is a painting worth that much money? That's crazy. Listen, y'all get at me in the comment section. Let me know what you thought of this video, man. And stick around and stay tuned. Till the next one, I'm gone.